One of the biggest obstacles in growing our real estate business is making connections. Today I want to share with you 6 quick and easy ways to connect with anyone. All right, the lifeblood of our business is having connections with people, building relationships. And in reality, it really comes down to how do you connect with people and how quickly can you connect with people. Most times when we're sitting with somebody, we come to a place where we're like, well, I could do business with this person, or I like that person. We kind of know almost immediately. So how do you make sure that when you meet people that you're able to reach out to them in a way that connects with them in a special way? The first thing I would say is the best way you can start is by smiling. You know, smiling is contagious. When you smile at someone, they can't help it. It's almost like it mirrors back to you what you put out. If you've seen these commercials sometimes where it talks about people that they do one little act of random kindness and somebody notices it, and then it goes around and they see the next person and there's an act of random kindness that they do and it just continues to move out. It all starts with a smile. When you begin to meet people, the first thing you should do is greet them with a smile. Number 2 is to make eye contact. You should always make direct eye contact. Have you ever been with someone and as you're talking to them, they kind of just look down or they look away or they just don't seem to make that connection? When you're locked in eye to eye with someone, it gives you the ability to, as they've said in the past, I've heard someone say one time that the eyes are basically the windows to our soul. When you look someone eye to eye, you connect in a way that's very deep. It shows that you value who they are. It shows that you're not wandering off and thinking about other things. You're actually locked in and making that connection. Number 3 is ask a question. Asking a question of someone that you're connecting with does 2 things. The first thing that it does is it gives that person that you're asking them about themselves, when you ask them that question, gives them the ability to talk about their favorite subject, themselves. You know, we're just innately made in a way that we love to talk about ourselves. And when you give someone the ability to talk about themselves, they begin to connect with you. They begin to open up to you. The second thing that happens when you ask a question is it gives you the ability to find areas that maybe you have in common. Maybe they talk about their kids or they talk about their job or their work or whatever it is, and you find a way to say, oh, well, I guess if you have kids, how old are your kids? You can connect. Well, I have kids that age. Or, oh, you're from Birmingham or Atlanta or Nashville or wherever. Oh, well, I have friends up there. You begin to have that ability when you ask a question to gather information where you can then begin to join those connections together. Number 4 is synchronizing your activities and your movements with that person that you're with. I don't know if you've ever heard about this mirroring, but basically what it is if you're sitting with someone, when people begin to come into rapport, they actually begin to mirror each other. So if you're there with someone and you're deeply connected, if you've ever seen a couple that's engaged at dinner, when one leans forward, the other leans forward. When one crosses their legs, the other crosses their legs. It's almost like they're dancing. It's just they're synchronized in everything that's happening physically to them. And when you begin to do that, you can actually start with that. So if someone leans in speaking to you, you lean in. If they speed up their tone of voice, you speed up your tone of voice. When you begin to synchronize with them, it gives you the capability to really connect on a deeper level than you ever can by just connecting with words. Number 5 is to make a compliment. Give them a compliment. You know, we all like to be complimented. So whether it's how they're dressed, the place they work, their kids, whatever it is, find a way that you can give them a compliment. And when you compliment someone, it begins to open them up to you in a new and a fresh way. Number 6 is follow-up. This is probably the most important. Listen, you can make immediate connections with people, but in reality, we all meet people that we're like, wow, I really like that person. But if there's no follow-up, that connection just fizzles out. So what I would encourage you to do is to do something that seems kind of old school. We just don't get many of anymore. If you connect with someone or you meet someone, send them a handwritten thank you note or a handwritten note. Or if you don't want to send them a handwritten note, something you talked about. Email them an article about whatever it is that they talked about that they were interested in. Hey, I just saw this article, thought you might be interested in it. You see, you're showing that you had a connection with them. You're reinforcing that. And when you reinforce it, then all of a sudden that connection begins to bind together in a way that has longer term relationship instead of just being just a chance meeting. So to wrap this up, basically what I would say is that if you're wanting to connect with more people, find the steps that it takes. Begin to just smile when you first meet people. Make eye contact. Mirror their behaviors. Go into a place where you begin to follow up with them and you connect with them on a level that maybe you haven't done before, because when we get focused on making connections, we build new and fresh relationships, and we build deeper relationships, and that always leads to more business. I hope this stuff is helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.